Alright, this one says a vertical line has a blank slope. Okay, on the last video I ended talking about this, but I'll mention it again. This is a vertical line. Remember, when we're talking about slope, we're looking for rise over run. Right? And so if we're thinking about this rising, this running, we know that, hey, it runs 0 and it rises continues. So we can just go in increments of 1, right? So 1 divided by 0 is considered to be undefined. Anytime you have a 0 in the denominator, it makes this be seen as undefined. Alright, 31. We got 2 and 1 and 4 and 10, and we are told to find the slope of the line that passes through the given points. All we have to do is find the slope on here, right? Remember, our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? And we can look at this. This will be our x1 and our y1. This is our x2 and our y2. Okay, so we just go ahead and plug these things in. We're looking for our y2. It's 10 over here minus, and then we go to our y1. It's a 1, and our x2 is a 4, and then our we do minus, right? And then our x1 is 2. And so we do the math on this. 10 minus 1 is 9, and 4 minus 2 is 2. And we cannot reduce this fraction, so that's our answer, is 9 over 2. Alright, 32. This is negative 7. And 5 is that one coordinate, and we got negative 11 and 5. Right? I'm not going to rewrite this, but I will label these. This is y2, x2, y1, and x1. Okay? So we're going to do y2, which is 5, minus another 5, and then negative 11 minus negative 7. Okay. Now we can do the top part, and this will give us a big indicator for those that understand horizontal lines pretty quick, that our answer is going to be 0 divided by something. But let's finish this. This is negative 11, and then when we have a double negative, we make these both pluses, right? So it's negative 11 plus 7, which are, we got opposite numbers, so we're going to subtract these numbers, and we get a 4. And since our negative 11 is bigger, it's going to be negative 4. Okay? But if we solve this, we're just going to say, hey, the answer to this, 0 divided by negative 4 is 0, which makes this a horizontal line, so our slope is 0. A lot of you might look at it and go, okay, I already knew that my y's were the same. And it just seems like if that's the case, y is always going to equal 5. And in fact, that would be the equation for this line as well, because y is always equaling 5. No matter what our x is, y equals 5. Alright, 30. It says we got 3x minus 2y equals 2. Okay, it says put the equation in slope-intercept form and graph it. Alright, that'll be easy enough. So we're just going to put this in. Remember, slope-intercept form is what we're used to seeing. That's that y equals mx plus b. Right, so we want to solve for y. So we're going to move our 3x over, so we're going to subtract it on both sides. It can't combine with a 2 because it's unlike terms. So we get negative 2y equals, and then we got a negative 3x plus 2, right? And the last thing we need to do is divide by negative 2. We're going to divide everything by negative 2. Well, that makes that go away, right? So we get y equals, and then we got a double negative, which just makes it turn back to being positive. So this is 3 over 2x. And then 2 divided by negative 2 is a negative 1, right? So if we're graphing this, I'll graph it down here. Okay. We're going to say this is our intercept. Remember this, so we're going to start. It's when x is 0, our y-intercept is going to be negative 1. So we're just going to go down here. This is where this is going to intercept, right? And then to plot this line, we just do our rise over run. Well, we're rising 3, so we're going up 1, 2, and then 3. And then we're going to go over 2. So 1, 2. So that's where our next plot point is. If we're drawing a line, looks good. I always like to double check and make sure that my slope is a positive slope to make sure that that happens, right? Sometimes we go in the left direction or whatever, but if this is positive, you know, it goes up like this. Right? If it's negative, it'll go down. So just, it's a quick little thing just to double check yourself. All right, 34. Is, well, they give us our slope, and they say it's 12, and this, okay, so our m is 12, and then we have the plot points negative 1 and 4, okay, and it says use point slope formula to write an equation of a line with the given slope that passes through the given point. Write your answer in slope intercept form. So they want us to put it in point slope form and then convert it to slope intercept form. I don't always like to do that, but we'll do it their way for this, and just to show you how it's done. But our point slope formula is y minus y1 equals m, and then x minus x1, right? And so we just plug in our information. So this is our y, right? This is our x, this is our slope. I've already labeled it that, so let's just go ahead and plug this in. So we got y minus, and then our y is 4, and it equals 12 times x minus a negative 1, right? Now we can simplify this real quick and say, okay, we got a double negative, so that's going to be x plus 1 instead. Okay, we'll put our 12 out here, and we can continue solving as to convert it. I'm taking it real slow through this one, but let's go ahead and distribute this. Okay, so this is going to give us 12x plus 12 on this side, right? We still got our y minus 4 over here, but now we're going to have to add our 4 to both sides, and this will get us right where we need to be. So now it's y equals 12x, and then we just do 12 plus 4, which is 16. Okay? And that's in our slope intercept form now. All right, 35. Okay, we have, says determine whether these two lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. All right, so remember that lines that are parallel have the same slope, so their slopes are equal, right? If they're perpendicular, I always feel like I misspell that, but I think that's right. All right. It means that our slopes, right, if it's m, it's going to become the negative m, and we're also going to have the reciprocal of it, which is what a negative 1 means. It means we're going to flip that fraction. If it's just a regular whole number, we're going to make it into a fraction so we can flip it. So if it's 4, we're going to make it 4 over 1, so it flips to be 1 over 4. All right, so let's solve these. So we got 4x plus 2y equals 10. Right? So let's put it in our slope-intercept form. That way we know what our slope is. So we're going to solve for y again. So we're going to move this 4x over, move the 4x over, negative 4x, right? So 2y equals negative 4x plus 10, right? Then I'm going to divide everything by 2. And we get y equals, and then negative 4 divided by 2 is a negative 2x. And we really don't need this part. We're only really concerned with our slope form of this, but it's negative 2. Alright, so let's solve for the other one. So we get 3y. Oh, well, they've already set us up really close on this one. Alright, so 3y equals negative 6x plus 25. We're going to divide everything by 3. See right away we're going to get there. Negative 6 divided by 3 is a negative 2. And we can't reduce that. We'll just leave that fraction there. It doesn't matter. But now we can compare these. And because they're equal, remember this, we wanted our m's to be equal, and they are equal. That makes them parallel. We didn't want them to be, but to satisfy the condition of being parallel, we wanted them to be. All right, 36. That's because it says our slope is 12, so our m is 12. And then we have the plot points of negative 1 and 4. Alright, so that's our information. It says use the point slope formula, write an equation of the line with the given slope that passes through the given point. Write your answer in slope-intercept form. Okay. Wait a second, I missed something. Nope, I did 34. I thought it was... Alright, so let's do this. Sorry. I'm going to do this one out of order because I meant to do 34. So our slope is a half. I apologize. This one says we got 0 and 7 over 6. Alright, sorry about that. I skipped that one. Didn't even notice I was doing that. This is write an equation based on given information. This is pretty simple, right? So this one, remember, we've got this one set up. It gave us our slope, and it gave us our y-intercept here, right? Because our y-intercept is when x equals 0. And our x equals 0, so we got our y-intercept. Remember, y equals mx plus b, right? Our x's are just going to stay the same, but we got our slope, right? And we have our y-intercept, right? So all we have to do is plug this in. So this is y equals a half x plus 7 over 6. We just steal that information, and it's that simple. Maybe that's why I skipped it, because it was too easy. Alright, so let's go on to 37. This says write the slope-intercept form for the equation of the line with the given slope that passes through the given point. Alright, so it didn't give us our a good y-intercept, but this equals 5 over 3. And this passes through 6, 4. Now we could solve this one the same way we did here, where we started out and put in our points here. So you could convert this the same way. I'm going to show you a different way to do this one too. Okay, so just so you have both options. But just keep in mind that you could just plug them in to that. You would plug in your 4 there, right? Your 5 over 3 here, and then your 6 here, and then you just go through and solve it. Right? Okay, I'm going to show you this way. Now, we have everything we have on this y equals mx plus b. Okay? We have a y point, which is 4. We have a slope that's 5 over 3. And we have an x that's 6. The only thing we don't have is that b. Right? So all we're going to do is solve this. Well, we can do this first, right? This fraction 6 times 5 is, or 5 times 6 is 30 over 3. We can actually cross-reduce before we multiply, which is what I'd rather do. But we can divide both these by 3 if we're looking at this like a fraction. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. That's plus b equals 4. If we would have just done it the other way, 5 times 6 is 30, divided by 3 is 10. So we would have got there anyways. I think I just like doing that better. So now our next step is to minus 10. We're going to minus 10 on that side, and we get a negative 6 equals b. So now we can just plug in our b now, and we already had our slope, so it's going to be y equals slope, which is 5 over 3. We got an x, and then minus 6, and that's in a slope-intercept form now. All right, 38. All right. This one says find the slope-intercept form of the equation of the line parallel to the given line containing the given point. All right, so it says parallel to the slope in this line, right? And we don't know this yet because it's in standard form, and standard form doesn't just straight away give us our slope. All right. A little blurry here. There we go. Sorry about that. Email me and let me know if this video is too blurry for you to make out what I was doing, and I'll redo it if I have to. Alright, so let's make this parallel, or make this, I'm sorry, y equals mx plus b. So we're going to minus our 6x on both sides. Okay, so we get negative 5y equals negative 6x plus 18. We're doing this so we can find out what that m is, right? So we're going to divide by negative 5. This cancels away. We get y equals negative 6 over negative 5. I'm sorry. We had double negative, so those cancel away. X minus, I'm just going to bring this up here instead of doing a plus. If we have any minus to this, we just make it all minus, but it's going to be 18 over 5. We can't simplify that. Okay, but we do have our slope now, right? Okay, and it says containing the points 10 and 4, right? So now we can just plug those in. I'm going to do it the same way I did this one. Okay, so we're looking for this y equals mx plus b, right? So our y is 4. Our m is 6 over 5. Right? Our x is 10. Put this over 1 because we're going to do some, but it's plus b. We don't know b yet. That's the only thing left we have to figure out. But we can cross-reduce on this one. Divide both these by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So then we're just doing 6 times 2, which is 12. And we'll do our plus b on that side, and we still have our 4 on this side. So we're going to subtract our 12. Subtract our 12. And now this is negative 8 equals b. Right? So if we had $4 in the bank and we spent $12, we'd be at negative $8. That's where that math comes from, for those that are questioning it. But Our final formula for this one is y equals, and our m is 6 over 5 x, and then minus 8. And that concludes page 4.